All right, so we have an update on Mahmoud Khalil, and like this is this is just insane. The absolute inhumanity in this whole situation is just it's gross. It is dark. A little background about Mahmoud Khalil, if you haven't been following, he was a pro-Palestinian activist who is here on a permanent green card, and he is married to a U.S. citizen. And at the time of his apprehension, his wife was 8 months pregnant, and he was detained and shipped off to a detention center in Louisiana. Now, you may ask, okay, what crime did he commit? He did not commit any crime. He is not being alleged or charged of any crime. They want to revoke his. Well, at first they thought he had a student visa and they could just easily revoke it and be done with it. And then they found out he is a permanent green card holder, and they're like, okay, we'll try to revoke that instead. So they've just been holding him in Louisiana while the courts battle it out. But yeah, it's over. They claim he is a pro-Hamas supporter, that he spreads anti-Semitism, and yeah, he's just basically a terrorist sympathizer and provides material support for terrorists. When I don't have any of it pulled up right now, but I encourage you, if you are unaware, you can find plenty of statements and speeches from Mahmoud Khalil that are speaking out against anti-Semitism, and obviously no crimes or anything committed. So he has been in detention for, I think, 2 or 3 months now. Just a couple of weeks ago, his wife, who was 8 months pregnant, she gave birth to their son. And he had requested a temporary release, just a temporary release, escorted by, law enforcement, to be there for the birth of his son. And that was instantly denied. Remember, this isn't a criminal. This isn't someone who is even accused of being a criminal, and any public post or speech or anything you can find about this man is he's just simply pro-Palestinian, speaking out against the atrocities that Israel is committing in Gaza. So, and anytime there is anti-Semitism, he speaks out against it, and he strongly condemns it. And he can't even get a temporary release to witness the birth of his son. What a party of family values we have here. This guy isn't a criminal. He isn't a threat to public safety. Anyways, let's read the article from PBS. Judge allows Mahmoud Khalil to hold newborn son for the first time despite Trump administration objections. I mean, yeah, I'm glad he got to hold his son, but can you just look at his newborn son? But can we just sit here and just analyze the situation in the first place, given the context I just provided you? And you don't have to believe my context. If you don't believe what I said, I encourage you to go out there and do some independent research. Please don't go to the DHS website or look at what Donald Trump or Kristi Noem or Marco Rubio says. Go look at several sources, please. Just look at what he said. Look at his direct quotes. And to the extent you can trust the State Department sources is when they say that he's not charged or being alleged of any crime. So you can trust that part. But wow, this man who's being indefinitely detained, however many miles away in Louisiana, he is allowed to hold his newborn son for the first time. Is this what we've sunk into? What is going on here? Detained Palestinian activist Mahmoud Khalil was allowed to hold his 1-month-old son for the first time Thursday after a federal judge blocked the Trump administration's effort to keep the father and infant separated by a plexiglass barrier. So, wow. What the hell is happening? How do you not see how just depraved and inhumane this is? This is disgusting. Have we no decency? The visit came ahead of a scheduled immigration hearing for Khalil, a legal permanent resident and Columbia University graduate who has been detained in a Louisiana jail since March 8th. Remember, detained since March 8th, several hundred miles away from where he was arrested. And no crimes. No crimes at all. And like, they try to say he's a terrorist supporter, anti-Semitic person, and you look at all the evidence out there available, and that's just not the case. He was the first person to be arrested under President Donald Trump's promised crackdown on protesters against the war in Gaza, and is one of the few who has remained in custody as his case winds its way through both immigration and federal court. His request to attend his son's April 21st birth was denied last month by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, as we talked about. The question of whether Khalil would be permitted to hold his newborn child or forced to meet him through a barrier had sparked days of legal fighting. This man's not even a criminal. He's not even alleged of being a criminal. And you won't even you tried to prevent him from holding his son. You already prevented him from witnessing the birth of his son. God, imagine what his wife is going through. I couldn't even imagine. Triggering claims by Khalil's attorneys that he is being subject to a political retaliation by the government. On Wednesday night, a federal judge in New Jersey, Michael Fairberez, intervened, allowing the meeting to go forward Thursday morning, according to Khalil's attorneys. The judge's order came after federal officials said this week they would oppose his attorney's effort to secure what's known as contact visit between Khalil, his wife, Noradella, and their son, Deen. Like, they're treating this dude worse than an actual criminal. Like, Jesus Christ. Instead, they said Khalil could be allowed a non-contact visit, meaning he would be separated from his wife and son by a plastic divider and not allowed to touch them. Granting Khalil this relief of family visitation would effectively grant him privilege that no other detainee receives, Justice Department officials wrote in a court filing on Wednesday, allowing Dr. Abdullah and a newborn to attend a legal meeting would turn a legal visitation into a family one. Shut the fuck up. Oh my God. Monsters. Brian Acuna, acting director of ICE field office in New Orleans, said in an accompanying affidavit it would be unsafe to allow Mr. Khalil's wife and newborn child into a secured part of the facility. Okay, then take him out of the secured part of the facility. He's not a criminal, by your own words. What are we doing here? In their own legal findings, Khalil's attorneys described the government's refusal to grant the visit as further evidence of retaliatory move behind Mr. Khalil's arrest and faraway detention, adding that his wife and son were the farthest thing from a security risk. They noted that Abdullah had traveled 1,500 miles to the remote detention center in hopes of introducing their son to his father. 1,500 miles away from home. This is not just heartless, Abdullah said of the government's position. It is deliberate violence. Like, it's funny, like, you know, they say he's pro-Hamas, he's a terrorist. Like, if anyone's a terrorist here, it's us. We are the terrorist. ICE is the terrorist. Ripping families apart and just doing this depraved shit. Like, we are the terrorists. We are. And I cannot ignore the echoes of the pain and the stories of Palestinian families torn apart by Israeli military prisons and bombs, denied dignity, denied life. Fairberez is currently considering Khalil's petition for release as he appeals a Louisiana immigration judge ruling that he can be deported from the country. Federal authorities have not accused Khalil of a crime, but have sought to deport him on the basis that his prominent role in protests against Israel's war in Gaza may have undermined U.S. foreign policy interests. Khalil is scheduled to appear before the immigration judge, Jamie Coleman's, for a routine hearing on Thursday. Attorneys for Khalil said it was unclear whether the baby would be permitted to attend the hearing. You know the Trump administration is going to try to make sure that doesn't happen. But I'm always going to go back to this because at the end we read there that they are holding him and they want to deport him under the basis that he had... Sorry for the commotion in the background. Luna is going insane. Hey. Jesus. So on that basis, on the basis of, as soon as I start talking, of undermining U.S. foreign policy interest. So protesting genocide and dozens of thousands of innocent women and children dying. So protesting that is against U.S. foreign policy interests because, I mean, we are funding it. And at any time we could stop it with a simple phone call to Benjamin Netanyahu. So I I'm at a loss for words what's going on here. Like, this dude's just, like, being indefinitely detained over, quite simply, in the simplest way you want to put it, free speech. And he has to fight tooth and nail to just be able to hold his newborn son. Oh my god. I. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below, and if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.